This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone. Hope you can hear me and you can see my screen. So good morning, good evening. Great. Okay. Right. Right everyone. Thanks for joining Cybersecurity Professional Web Application Security Engineer Demo session. To start with, for the next 25 to 30 minutes, I'll be introducing myself and I'll walk you through the curriculum what is specially designed to start your career into cybersecurity professional, and it covers everything that is required and very easy to understand even for a layman can understand these things. Okay, so let's start with who am I. I'm Hope I'm audible, right? My voice is crisp and clear, there is no disturbance from my side. Can someone please unmute yourself and confirm?
Yes.
Good, thanks. And this will be an interactive session. Don't hold for your questions at any point of time. If you have any questions, you're free to interrupt and ask and make it very interactive rather than me teaching something which is very predefined kind of the thing. We'll make it more interactive and discuss what is more interested you guys are and what makes you to join this session today. Okay, so just couple of slides I will explain myself and then we'll get going with the curriculum. Fine. Myself, Vishwanath, you can call me Vishwa. I'm a cybersecurity professional with 15 plus years of experience. I started my career in the year way back in 2008. As a fresher, I have joined, and now I'm working for a big four audit firm as a security architect. And these are some of the credentials or accreditations or certifications, whatever you call. Okay, I'm a certified information systems security professional. I'm a certified information systems auditor. I'm a certified data privacy solution engineer, and I do hold few certifications across different clouds. That is with respect to AWS. I'm a solution architect associate. I'm a solution architect professional. I'm a AWS security specialty, and I do hold a use security certification and ISO 27001 lead auditor. These are just few of the certifications which I've gained in the last few years. Okay, and so to start with, okay, I hope you guys must have done a bit of homework before joining this session. Like, what pulled you to join this session? What's your interest? What make you to join this session? What is actually a cybersecurity? I just want to hear from your side so that it will give me an idea like where exactly you are. Are you completely a layman or you have got little bit of experience as a developer or a cloud engineer, what exactly you are you a fresher, something like that? So what is your expertise? Okay, what is that you are expecting from this session? Can someone please unmute yourself? Nothing nothing official here. Unmute yourself, feel free to ask. Based on that, I'll move forward. Come on, we have Vikas, Sunil, Bharat, Suresh, Sumant, Ravitej. Anyone? What is cybersecurity actually?
It's it's that it's a cyber security, basically whatever we are doing on the internet. So we have to secure our applications, our data,
Hmm.
that to secure uh, unwanted cyber cyber attacks. So recently, we have heard that Microsoft Enterprise our hacked and
Okay, okay, Vikas. Anyone else would like to give a try?
Hey, my name is Ravi, and I have
Ritesh,
a
can you
so,
Can you
Can you hear
please
me?
be a bit more audible?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah. So my name is Ravi Teja, and I have about 12 years of experience in IT support, whereas I used to support in a hospital almost with 1,000+ users, and I would like to have a career change because of the support, because the AI and the cloud is now more popular. So I have done my Azure fundamentals as well, but then
Great.
as now Azure is more into it, and the AWS cloud is also booming, and on top of that, cyber security is also booming. And I'm a guy with more of a security side interested because I used to have backtrack. I used to be like a script kiddie earlier, so I
Okay.
used to try to test many things towards the security side. So
Hmm.
I thought maybe it would be helpful if I take a full-time course in cybersecurity and jump into that new career.
Okay. Great.
So
Great. Great.
that's what motivated me to join here.
Okay. Great. So, to be precise, what you both what you said, right, Teja, and the other guy, whoever it is, okay. I didn't recall the name. Whatever you said is correct. Cybersecurity is all about securing the assets of an organization that are connected to the internet. Okay. An asset can be anything. An asset can be a device, a laptop, a mobile device, a server, okay, a database, okay. And moreover, an asset can be an employee as well. Okay. Do you agree? An employee can also be an asset to an organization. Do you agree to that?
Yes, I think we will be.
Yes,
Okay. So, so cybersecurity involves protecting all these assets. Okay, when I say protecting the asset, protecting an employee is nothing but we need to educate. We need to educate our employees regarding the cyber security, hacking activities, phishing activities, all these things. General education. You might have, if you are an employee already working for some MNCs kind of the thing. You might have received emails from an IT admin like do's and don'ts
true.
related to security, or you might have received some basic training. Okay, what to do, what not to do, all this kind of the thing. The basic password change policy is also part of cyber security. Okay, now at a whole, cyber security is all about protecting the organizational assets. Now, protecting the organizational assets against whom? From whom we are trying to protect, and why
Internal
do
and
we need to protect? Sorry.
internal and external threats.
Exactly. Okay, internal and external threat. A threat can be an event, or a threat can be a human. Okay,
That,
with respect to an external threat, we call people as hackers. Okay, we call people, those people are hackers. The motto of the hacker can be anything. He might be expecting some ransomware, or he might try to steal some data from the organization and sell that particular data to your competitor. Okay, or he might steal the data from the government agencies and try to sell through our enemy country to our enemy countries, whatever it is, whatever the motto. So our agenda as a cybersecurity professional is to protect everything. Now let me quickly show you one such a beautiful website. Okay. Okay, this is website name is information is beautiful. It will it will show all the biggest data breaches that has happened over the past a couple of the decades. Okay, now I'll just scroll down. It has information from 2004. Okay, it has information from 2004. In 2004, there are some data breach activity hack happened on this particular AOL, and some records has been lost. In 2004, we see only few things. From 2004 to 2006, only few hacking activities has happened. But if you come down, scroll up 2016, 18, 20, 22, 24. Why so many hacking activities are happening nowadays? Why? In 2008, hardly we have anything in 2006 and 2004. What when we comes to 2024, why these many hacking activities happening? And if you see AT&T breach, okay, and some 73 I call millions 73 millions record has been lost. Indonesia health agency some 279 millions record has been lost. Okay, Indonesia sim card agency some records, Twitter some records, Facebook some records, Microsoft records, everything this includes our Indian citizens Aadhaar card records has also lost. Apollo hospitals record, I don't think it's an Apollo hospital or it's Apollo tires, whatever it is, some records has been lost. So if you see, one thing that is very common here, okay, all the hackers are focused towards stealing the data of the organization. Agree?
Right.
So why so many hacking activities? Why this hacking activities has been increased from two in the last 2 decades from 2004 to 2024? What could be the reason, or what exactly evolved in the last two decades?
Because of the you know dependency on the IT system and not focusing on the IT security rather than focusing on productivity and cutting down the costs. So because at that point of time they never valued that this the small amount of data could be that crucial, and they were always just trying to focus on developing their own things rather than protecting the data.
Hmm. Okay. To certain extent, what you said is also correct because they are keenly focused on delivering the products, timely delivery of their products without any delays. Okay, and rather than focusing on the security aspect of the product. Okay, see, can you imagine your day without using an app or an application?
No, even the yoga is done using an app nowadays.
Yes, anything related to the yoga, anything related to online consultation of the doctors, so groceries, so milk, newspaper, okay, OTT apps, everything is app. So if we look back 2 decades ago, the number of apps are limited. Now our dependency on apps has increased. What I'm trying to explain you is cybersecurity is booming and will be in that state forever. Until unless people stop using the apps, then only cybersecurity will come down. But is that possible?
No,
Is that
no.
possible?
It is
Okay.
increasing.
So earlier applications used to develop in the C, then C Sharp, .NET, Java, and now we have React JS. So many JS, so many technologies has been evolved. But when it comes to cybersecurity, every technology, whatever it comes, cybersecurity is must and mandate. That is what I'm trying to convey. So there is nothing like that. Today cybersecurity is booming. Okay, and tomorrow there might be something else, nothing else. There will be cybersecurity. Okay, till the end of the globe, cybersecurity will keep evolving, and the respect towards cybersecurity professionals will be high, and the job opportunities for cybersecurity professionals will be high. Okay, today we have AI, and people are running towards artificial intelligence. Okay, did you get a thought that will AI has or will have any impact on cybersecurity jobs? Did you get any doubt? Do you think AI will overcome cybersecurity?
I don't think so.
No, I
AI is something that it's a collective of data over the decades, over many of the people. It is not something that everything it creates is based on the data that it is already having, right?
Yes,
And the cybersecurity engineer or any one of us has to protect that data to get it to the hands of AI or properly handling it to the AI. So AI will not be hitting it, but AI will. We have to protect it from the AI actually.
yes. Okay. Cybersecurity professionals can leverage the AI to advance their skills, but AI will not overtake cybersecurity professional jobs. AI, what is simply an AI? It's a bunch of databases having all the data, and using simple prompt, it will provide the accurate information rather than Googling. Just like search engine, and also it will help. Mostly it will come in handy for the developers, okay, to write some code script kind of the thing. But if people try to leverage AI properly, not I mean they can survive their jobs, day to day jobs, who are doing those jobs monotonously without any change. Okay, so this might have impact on those people where there is no change in their job quality or the work they do, who do a monotonous kind of the jobs. Okay, but not the cybersecurity professional. Okay, now now so doing a business is all about the data, and hackers are behind the data, behind stealing the data. That is the reason why organizations need cybersecurity professionals to protect their data. Okay, to protect their data by strongly configuring their environment and educating their employees through trainings. Okay, now with that, let's enter into the curriculum. What is specifically designed? Yes, you can see it clearly, or you want me to zoom in a bit?
That's good.
Okay,
It's fine.
fine, great. It is designed in such a way that considering people who is joining the course has no knowledge on the security background. So any layman, any fresher, any experienced developer, any cloud engineer, any DevOps engineer can easily understand this. Okay, here everything will be taught from scratch and very easy to understand. We'll start with the introduction to security testing and its importance, and we'll discuss about what exactly a web application. Okay, so this is something we are going to protect. Organization web applications we are going to protect. Right, now we need to understand what a web application, what exactly it consists of, what is the architecture, how exactly it looks like, so what are the components of the application, and what are the different technologies that are used to develop the application, and some of the basic concepts of security testing like CIA. So here C stands for confidentiality, I stands for integrity, and A stands for availability. So entire security will move around these three basic elements. These are called as basic elements of security. That's called CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay. Now, whatever the hacking activity you take, okay, whatever the vulnerability you take, okay, there might be n number of vulnerabilities or n number of hacking activities, but the motto of that particular activity can be either to ensure to steal some confidentiality information from the organization databases, or to tamper some integrity values, tamper the data, or to ensure that particular database is down, that particular server is down. Okay, so any activity we can correlate with whether this is something related to confidentiality, integrity, or availability. What exactly it is impacting, what impact does the organization will have with that particular hacking activity or a vulnerability. And so the very basic things. Now, every application will have an authentication, and every application will have some user roles, okay, based on what we are dealing with. Okay, to be very precise, if you are taking a subscription of a learning portal like Udemy, okay, if you are enrolling for a particular course, you will only see that particular course. Were you able to access the course that you are not enrolled for? Is it possible? Is it possible?
No, no, it's not
Okay,
possible.
so why that is called authorization. You are only authorized
That's right.
to view, or I mean, to view that particular course. Okay, that's called, yes, access controls, which includes authentication, authorization, what are the different authentication methods available, and whenever you try to interact with the application, a request and response will happen, right? Okay, within the application, if you try to perform any activity, that particular activity has to go to the server, and the server will fetch you the response. Okay, the to and fro requests, you are requesting something and server will respond to that, the request and response will happen. How exactly that will happen, what are the different HTTP methods, what kind of response codes you will get, what are the headers, what is a cookie, and what is the session. Okay, these are some of the basic concepts These are some of the basic concepts. These are nothing related to security. These are related to application only. How a basic application can be built and what are all required for an application to log in and work properly. Now with this, once this is completed, we'll slowly migrate to some advanced concept like cryptography. What is a cryptography? Okay. What is encryption? What is encoding? What is hashing? Okay. What is a cryptography? What is a cryptography? Do you trust a website? Do you trust a website like this,
No.
or do you trust a website like this?
Yes.
Because what difference does it make?
Because this
This is the
particular website is certified and secure.
this connection is secure. How it is secure? Because it is using some SSL, HTTPS. Okay,
That's
Hypertext Transfer Protocol security. It is an HTTPS application, and this is just not secure. Nothing but it only uses HTTP. No SSL encryption is there. Okay, so what is this SSL? What is this particular certificate? From where we need to get this certificate to make sure my application is secure? Okay, and how exactly that particular SSL certificate is generated? What algorithms does it uses to make sure the data of the customers who is interacting with the application is secure? Okay, so all those things will be part of cryptography. And within encryption we have symmetric encryption, asymmetric encryption. Okay, and then we'll try to understand the input validations and output encoding. So applications will be vulnerable, but what makes the application vulnerable? What makes the application vulnerable? User is giving certain inputs, and those inputs are not properly validated. Okay, if bad guy who is interacting with our application provides certain inputs, some malicious payloads are the scripts. Okay, and if the application server fails to validate those things, then application might be vulnerable to certain attacks. Okay, to understand those validation related vulnerabilities, first we need to understand what is an input, how do you validate that particular input, what is an output that is coming from the response, and how do you validate that particular response. That's called input validating, output encoding. And within input validation we have blacklist validation, we have whitelist validation. What is your understanding about this blacklist validation? You are blacklisted. Profiles from that particular X organization is blacklisted. What is blacklist validation?
There are certain special characters or some patterns will be blacklist that
Okay,
nobody.
blacklisting the bad characters, bad intentions, bad practices. Okay, anything that is not according to the policy. So every organizations will have policy. Okay, as per my policy, I will only accept these things. If you are not following those particular things, if you are going beyond those particular accepted things, then those things will be blacklisted. Okay, I'm just talking this with respect to the organizations and the people, but with respect to the application, what is what is whitelisted and what is blacklisted. So if you try to change your password, what exactly it will ask? What exactly it will ask if you try to change your password?
old password, new password, username, email
I
address.
mean, the combination, what combination it will ask for?
It will ask for special characters, capital letters, small letters, numeric.
Okay, that is a policy, right? So what if you try to provide your password without following these steps? Will it
It
accept?
will, uh, it will give an error saying at least one of these characters are required.
Okay. Like similarly, now I say a password should be alphanumeric with special characters, and within the special characters, I will only accept at the rate symbol, or I will only accept underscore
Like,
symbol. What is it? That is
it
that is
should be
whitelisting. Okay, if you are trying to provide, now I have whitelisted only alphanumeric characters with an underscore symbol. Now within the password I am trying to provide alphanumeric at the rate symbol. Okay, cyber at the rate security. Will it accept?
No, it will not. It might, because we have not yet whitelisted. I
We have
mean, we have not.
whitelisted. We have whitelisted only underscore, alphanumeric and underscore. But what we are providing is at the rate. It will not accept. So we have whitelisted certain things. And similarly, if you define, I will not accept underscore in my password. That's called blacklisting. I will accept only alphanumeric and certain special characters. That is whitelisting. Okay. I will only allow few people to talk here. That's called whitelisting. I will only choose two of you, and I'll mute rest of the folks. That's called whitelisting. I will not allow particular person to speak. That's called blacklisting. Anyone can speak except that particular person. That's called blacklisting. So these whitelisting and blacklisting we need to understand with respect to application inputs. Whatever the how what is the I mean, what is the usage of the particular application? What exactly it is accepting from the user based on the functionality? We will understand those things. And we have something called client list validation, server side validation, and then we'll discuss something called software development lifecycle and threat modeling. Any developers here within the group? Any developers here?
Yes.
Okay. You might have heard, right? Software development lifecycle process.
Yes.
Okay, so to that particular software development life cycle, we try to understand security, how to add security to that particular software development life cycle. Okay, that's called secure software development life cycle, and we'll try to understand something called there is a concept called threat modeling. Threat modeling is nothing but early identification of the issues. How early we can identify the issues in this particular software development life cycle policies by making use of secure software development lifecycle, and then we'll slowly understand the process and the methodology. Tomorrow, after completing the course, within an organization, if your manager or the team lead gives you an application to perform the secure testing, what is the process? What is the methodology? What steps you need to consider? Okay, and then we'll understand SSL handshaking process, nothing but whatever you have discussed. I've said, right? HTTPS. Okay, how exactly this HTTPS will work? Okay, we have purchased the certificate from certificate authority and we have configured, but we need to understand how exactly this handshaking process will work between the client and the server, and what is an SSL, what is a TLS, what are the different versions, and mainly OWSP top 10 vulnerabilities, open web application security projects. Okay, across the globe, across the globe, any security engineer has to follow these particular standards. Okay, if you are trying to perform a secure testing on the application, then by default you have to follow these particular standards only. So open web application security projects is a body that will come out with latest most happening vulnerabilities. Every 3 to 4 years they will come up with new vulnerabilities. Okay, so mostly it will retain the old vulnerabilities, 70 to 80% old vulnerabilities they will retain. Okay, and they will, if they come across any new challenges in the market, new security loopholes in the market, and they will add to this particular list. Okay, and this is by default, everyone has to know this OWSP top 10, and all the applications has to be verified whether these issues, whether the application has these issues or not. Okay, and these vulnerability include SQL injection, cross-scripting, request forgery, insecure direct object reference, failure to restrict URL access, something related to configurations, redirects and forwards. Again, with respect to authentication and session management, components with known vulnerabilities. Here, if you see, I said top 10 vulnerabilities, but there are more vulnerabilities here, right? So, apart from OWSP top 10 vulnerabilities, what we have done is we have segregated vulnerabilities with respect to certain categories. Okay, we have added bunch of other vulnerabilities for a bunch of other vulnerabilities apart from OWASP top 10. Like we have added vulnerabilities that is related to authentication. Okay, in the login page, what kind of vulnerabilities we can verify? Vulnerabilities with respect to authorization, vulnerabilities with respect to session management. Okay, how to protect the session management with respect to configurations and file uploads. And once this is done, we'll have a high level introduction to vulnerability scanners. Okay, now organizations will procure certain scanners, okay, because relying on relying on humans for everything is a time taking process, and there will be a minor error if they are completely relying on humans. Okay, on addition to human process, when I say human, we as a security engineer performing the assessment, they will also assist you with certain tools, and that particular certain tools will help you to verify each and every page within the application and each and every input within the application and all the requests. Okay, so what are the different vulnerability scanners? We'll discuss those things, and finally we'll also work out on you found certain vulnerabilities, how to prepare the report. Okay, you need to submit the report, to your management or to your client, and how exactly uh, we need to create the report, what points we need to include in the reports. So all these things we'll cover, and certain tools like we'll have a look at a burp suite and how exactly these SSLIs, SQL map and Accuratech tools will work. Ravi, can you please? Okay, thank you. I hear your kids are screaming. Okay, no problem. Okay, this is about web application security. Okay, we are starting with the basics, understanding about the basics. We are advancing with the basic concepts, and we are trying to learn the vulnerabilities. After vulnerabilities, how exactly we need to report, and we'll also understand what kind of the tools that will come in handy for us. Okay, and then report generation and submission to the client. And so every vulnerability, whatever the vulnerability you take, let's say we have vulnerability called cross-site scripting. Okay, it will be explained in such a way that we'll start with the definition. We'll try to understand the definition of the vulnerability, and we'll try to understand the vulnerability by asking these kind of WH questions. Okay, what are WH questions? What are WH questions?
What, when,
Yes, what is this particular vulnerability? What happens with this vulnerability? Where I can test for this particular vulnerability? Uh, my customer has given an application to perform the assessment. All the vulnerabilities, there will be a number of vulnerabilities. We cannot perform all the vulnerabilities in all the locations, right? Okay, there will be certain categories of the vulnerabilities that need to be performed in certain location only. There is a login page. There are vulnerabilities with respect to login page. Only those vulnerabilities you have performed. There is a form page within the application. There is a profile page. In the profile page, there will be certain categories of the vulnerabilities like cross-site scripting, cross-site request forgery. Okay, what is the location? Rather than that is a difference between a script kiddie and the professional. Script kiddie will simply go and giving the payloads wherever he find an input and wherever he find the query strings. But a professional will understand what kind of vulnerability I can test in this particular location. That's called where I can test. Okay, where I can test for this particular vulnerability, and where to fix, or you can call it as how to fix. Okay, so you can learn anything in your life, not only a cybersecurity, anything you can learn if you try to ask yourself these WH questions. Okay, right. Now, how to fix? How to fix? Do we provide a code-based fix? Do we write a code to fix that particular vulnerability? Do we write the code?
No.
No, we'll only say this particular vulnerability is something related to input validation. Then we'll give the recommendation like implement proper input validation mechanisms. And within proper input validation mechanisms, here we are learning something. You see, we have already learned something. Implement blacklist validation, or implement whitelist validation, or implement client side validation or server side validation. These are these are good practices. We are learning the good practices and bad practices here. And when it comes to the vulnerability, we'll tell Good practice. Implement validation, whitelist validation, and ensure server-side validation is happening. So like this we'll give, and the code we won't provide any code-based assist to the developer because we are not the developers. Okay, our job responsibility is only to find the vulnerabilities with respect to the provided standards, that is OWSP standards. Okay, and will only help the developer team to understand the vulnerability, what exactly happening with the vulnerability, what the worst can happen, what will be the consequences if you are not going to fix this particular vulnerability. Only these things will assist them, but will not provide only code base unless you are a developer. If you're already a developer, you might assist them, but that's not that's not our responsibility. That leads to conflicts of interest. That leads to conflicts and interest. An assessor, you are performing the assessment, and you should not be the guy to fix the vulnerability. Okay, that's called conflicts of interest. Even you are a developer, you won't provide any code fix, you can only tell them. Okay, so every vulnerability we will ask these WH questions and we will learn. Okay, this doesn't require a knowledge about the developer knowledge. Okay, this doesn't have any prerequisites. Okay, that doesn't require any experience. A fresher or an experienced person can learn this. Okay, and this is only one part. We are learning only web application security testing. Okay, apart from web application security testing, once this is done, we will have a coverage of network security testing. Okay, it's relatively very easy. We'll only try to understand certain definitions. These network securities, it hardly takes 2 to 3 days for us to complete. This web application security part, it will take uh, not less than 30 to 35 sessions, but this network security we can complete in 2 to 3 days. Okay, because this has nothing to do this has nothing to do as a human. Highly 99% we are relying on the tools. We'll try to understand the basics of network security and the process, and what are all the tools available to check for the vulnerabilities. Tool has reported certain vulnerabilities, and now we have to verify whether that particular vulnerability reported by the tool is correct or not, using one more tool called nmap. And we need to gather the evidence if that particular tool, if that tool reported vulnerability is true. Okay, and again report preparation followed by certain tools what we are using. We will make use of nmap, we'll make use of nessus, we'll make use of ssl scan or sslize tools. Okay, this is about network security. And we'll start working on web services security testing. So what are web services? I've seen this REST APIs. I've heard this REST APIs, SOAP APIs. I heard, or have you come across GraphQL, all these things?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So web services, these are integral part of the application. These web services will not have any UI. So whatever you are seeing here, this is a web application. Whatever you're seeing is a web application. But behind the screens, there will be web services that will face certain information that will not have the UI. Okay. So how to test those web services? How to invoke the request, how to invoke that particular API request, how to analyze the response, and how to test for the vulnerabilities, that we will learn as part of web services security testing vulnerabilities. And these web services security testing vulnerabilities are 80% similar to 80% are the same vulnerabilities what we are learning as part of web application security testing. Apart from this, there will be 2 or 3 vulnerabilities that are specifically for APIs. Okay, and those vulnerabilities like XML external entity or rate limiting kind of the vulnerabilities, those vulnerabilities we will learn as part of the web services security testing. Okay, and this is the curriculum. This includes web application security testing, network security testing, and web services security testing. Okay, as part of cyber security. Okay, Once this is done, once this is done, I'll provide you a couple of profiles, sample profiles, how a security professional resumes will look like. And this will be a 1 hour session. Every day this will be a 1 hour session, and weekly 4 days, Monday to Thursday. Okay, every day 1 hour session. In this 1 hour, everything whatever I speak, that will be concept oriented, and that will be completely with related to from interview point of view. Whatever I speak, that will be an interview question. Okay, so that means from day one, whatever the concepts or the topics you are learning, we are understanding the topics, and at the same time we are trying to we are trying for interview with respect to that particular topic. We have learned day one, we have learned certain topics. Day one itself we should be ready to answer any questions with respect to that particular topic. Okay, and every day there will be certain topics, like I will discuss something and I'll give you this task, like whatever you have discussed, try to make a notes of that. Let's say we have discussed input validation. Whatever you got, whatever you understood, try to make a note of that and share it to me. I'll validate. So every day there will be homework. I will provide the homework. I will insist you to provide the homework, but I can't force you to provide the homework. End of the day, it's up to you. Okay, but because I'm no one to force you to work on certain things, right? It has to come upon your interest. But the process will be the same. The process will be the same every day. Certain tasks will be there, and I'll ask you whether you have done or not. If you have done, I'll validate, I'll appreciate. If you have not done, I will only ask you to do whenever you get the time. And at the end of the session, along with the profile, I'll provide you certain notes with respect to OWSP top 10 for those who fail to do by their own on a day-to-day basis. So this is completely a 35 to 40 working day session. Okay, so to say precisely, a 2 month session. Okay, this is about the curriculum. And now you have any questions, you can ask me. That is with respect to the job, with respect to the profile what you're currently working on, how exactly you need to prepare, anything with respect to cyber security industry, you can ask me now.
Just a quick question. So, how does it how it is helpful for a Power BI background developer?
That's a good question, Ravi, but I'm not exactly sure how exactly Power BI will come in handy here. So when you call you are a Power BI developer, do you have any previous development experience? Power BI is something which you are hearing for the last decade, I believe. Prior to
Yes.
this, do you have any Java, .NET, C Sharp, C kind of development experience?
Yeah, I do have .NET experience.
Great. So what exactly you do as part of the Power BI? Do you configure something? You code something?
No, it is about graphical interfaces only.
Yes, that
By
is
keyboard.
nothing to do with the coding, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean some amount of, but
Yes,
not
little.
to the full extent. Yeah, not a full stack developer.
Yes, there's a little bit of experience. So let me explain. Okay, I missed something. I'll explain now. So cybersecurity is coined as a very high level. Is coined as a very high level. So within the organization, cybersecurity will have web application security, web services security, okay, network security, mobile security. Mobile security and network security is also called as uh, infra infra security. Okay, and organizations will have identity and access management, and organizations will have incident response teams. Okay, organization will have SOC teams, security operational control teams. Okay, and organizations will have threat hunting teams. Okay, threat hunting teams. These are called as red teams. Okay, and blue teams, and only these threat hunting teams, only few organizations can support these teams. Not all the organizations will have, they will outsource most of the things. Only few organizations like Microsoft kind of thing, they will have only this kind of red teaming and blue teaming kind of thing. So they will have uh, governance, risk and compliance teams. Okay, so whatever we are learning, it's not the entire cyber. We are only the entry point of the cyber. Okay, in order to enter into a cyber, web application is your entry part. Okay, web services, networks, mobile, slowly you have to learn these things. And this IAM, IR and all, this is not required for us, because these are IAM, IR threat, SOC team kind of thing. These are specialized skill sets. It's a different skill set. These are completely a tool based. For IAM there will be certain tools, for incident response there will be certain tools, for SOC team there will have certain tools like sim tools like Splunk kind of the thing. So these are not required for us. Okay, but threat hunting kind of the thing. Once you master these things, okay, with the kind of experience you gain, you'll move to next level. You'll move to next level with the knowledge what you have gained. And GRC is more related to a management kind of thing. Once you mastered all these things, okay, and you gain good amount of the knowledge like a 10 years, 12 years, 14 years, and then you'll be moved to governance, risk and compliance things. This is about the cyber. And within this web application, there is something called dashed and there is something called SAST. Okay? Dash is nothing but dynamic application security testing. Okay, this is what we are covering as part of the curriculum. Dynamic application security testing is nothing but it's a dynamic. Applications are dynamic. Okay, we are trying to interact here and we are getting certain response. Okay, we are trying to search here and we're getting certain response. That is nothing but it is dynamic. We are trying to interact. Okay, there is something called there is something called SAST, static application security testing. Static application is security testing is nothing but we are working on the code. We need to verify the vulnerabilities in the code base itself. Okay, you will write the code, that particular JSP pages, HTML pages, JS pages. Okay, you are writing the code. The code is not built. Okay, and that is not hosted. Once the code is written, it is built properly and hosted, then only we'll see the web application. Before that, only bits and pieces of the code has been written. Now you need to verify the vulnerabilities using you in this particular code. For that purpose, there will be tools like checkmarks and fortify. But but tools will report the vulnerability, but to verify that particular vulnerability is correct or not, you need to manually verify. Go to that particular code base and you need to verify. So in order to do this, what do you require to understand the code? You need to have a little bit of knowledge on the code, right? You have to be a developer, or you should have a basic understanding of the code. By reading the code you should be able to understand. Okay, so this part we are not covering this, because this requires a developer skills. Okay, then only we can understand. So going forward, because I'm not a developer, I don't know .NET, I don't know Java, but by looking at the code I can say yes, tool has reported some cross-site scripting vulnerability, and that is true. How I am telling that because I've been working on web application security testing for the last 1.5 decades. Okay, out of experience I was able to read the code. I may not code. If you ask me to code something, I may not be in a position to code, but I can read the code. I can read the code and say whether this is vulnerable or not, to my knowledge. Okay, so you being a Power BI developer with understanding on the code base, and with a prior experience or your understanding on Java or .NET, this will be an added advantage for you. So you will be learning these things, dashed web services and network, and you can, once you master this, you can implement this with your level of understanding in the code. You can also call yourself as the SAST Whoever perform the assessment on the SAS, they are called as secure code reviewers. So this will be your understanding as a developer. Is it clear, Ravi?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Great. Yes, we have so many folks here. We've been hearing only from Ravi.
For how
Yeah.
many years? What will be, how many years of experience required?
Because I didn't get you. How many years of experience required?
Yes, suppose I am having a fresher or I should have some experience on this, on some technology.
Mhm. So, generally, Ravi, this course is created in such a way that with 1 hour of my daily session and additional 1 or 2 hours of your time, okay, if you practice, by the end of these 2 months, you will gain an experience. I can assure you, you will gain an experience of an individual who is working in cybersecurity for the last 3.5 years. So you can gain that level of experience. 3.5 years of experience, I can assure you.
Uh, Based on that, I mean, this could be a very common question and with everyone.
Yes.
How after this particular course, okay,
Mhm.
uh, how are the job opportunities that we can expect within India or outside India?
Yes. See, cybersecurity professional jobs are always a hot take. Indeed, if you Google or you research or you go to any forums, they'll say the same thing. There is still a shortage of cybersecurity professionals. Okay, if you remember at the start of this session, I said I've started my career in the year 2008. So in 2008, do you recall anything? What is 2008?
Yeah, that was a disaster. The entire market was down, and there was what is called recession. Yeah,
A recession
it was the worst nightmare.
ever seen. That's
Right.
2008 is a recession that has ever seen across the globe, not only in India.
That's
And I
true.
started my career in 2008 as a fresher, as a cybersecurity professional.
Wow.
Okay, so you just, if you have any folks, cousins, friends, or mutual friends who is working as part of cyber, ask them, is there any layoffs happened during this last from 2008 to till then, or
I
from the
don't
time
think
they have started their career? There is no way. I'll give you a simple example. What if a recession comes? Just think. What if a
it.
recession comes?
In fact, the cyber security will increase.
Yes. So this uh, this is a very common thing. You see, what if a recession comes? People will lose their jobs, right? Agree?
Right.
Not the cybersecurity professionals.
Because you have to secure further long. Because
Other people who are doing the same monotonous jobs without any value, without upskilling themselves, they will lose their jobs. Okay, economy will impact. Okay, and at the end of the day, people look after for easy money. Okay, and people will run behind the ransomware attacks. Okay, so for ransomware attacks, organization has to protect themselves from this kind of bad guys.
true.
Okay, if the organization fires all their employees, they want to retain few employees, and those few employees are cybersecurity professionals, and few employees are those developers or infra people who are required to fix those vulnerabilities again. Okay, okay, you need not to worry about the job opportunities. Okay, but
So,
only thing is, yeah, yeah.
secondly, along with this particular course that we are going to do, right? Do you recommend any certifications to cement it out, and before we go out in the market with our resume, right?
Right. Good question. That's a very good question. Okay. There are, to start with, there are certain basic certifications like certified ethical hacking. Whenever you see cybersecurity, people will say certified ethical hacking. This is a basic certification. I will only recommend this if your experience is only 3 years or less than that. If your experience is only 3 years or less than that. Okay. And if you feel uh, because if you go to Middle East or if you go to US, UK and all, they will evaluate the profiles based on these certifications as well. If there is a requirement, then go for this. Okay, but then there are other certification bodies like ISACA and ISC square. Okay, and ISACA certifications like CISA, CISM, CRISC, Certified Information Systems Auditor, Information Systems Manager, risk related. The C risk is something risk related, and ISC square will have Certified Information System Security Professional, CCSP, cloud related certifications. These are next level certifications. If your experience is more than 7 years, okay, or more than 7 years or 8 years, you are ready for next level. People will consider you. Maybe you are learning the cybersecurity now at this experience, but people will consider your profile based on how you practice for the next level, a lead kind of the profile or a managerial kind of the profile. There, these certifications will come in handy. Okay,
Okay.
if there are 10 profiles, and out of which if there is one profile with these certifications, all the 9 profile will straight away rejected, and you will get the call for the interview. So these are the certifications, and these are nothing to do with the technicalities. These are completely theoretical. The best practice, they'll only talk about the best practices, how to audit. Okay, a certified information security manager. This comes from this speaks very basic things like physical security to data security, everything. So you need to set up an organization. You have procured a particular land, you have procured from the government the SEZ. Okay, from the entry, from the main gate to your server room, what kind of security controls you are implementing? The physical security that includes the guards, okay,
Right.
and the
Right.
bollards, the swiping systems, okay, and escorting the clients, how server rooms are protected, how ODCs client rooms are protected, where your segregated the network segmentation has been happened for a common network and client networks. So very basic things, these are theoretical. So that's why if you are 7+ years of experience, you might have come across these basic things already, and I suggest you to try with the CSM. If you
Okay.
need any assistance with respect to the CSM or CSSP, any notes you require, I can help you. I can help you with this. I have this information in handy. I can share you.
So,
One another question. I'm so sorry. I'm just firing
No
up all
problem.
those.
No
So
problem.
one of my friend is working in data research and data analyst job past 10 years. Okay,
Okay.
and now if he wants to jump into the cyber security, how is it going to be helpful?
Data. What is
Data
it?
research, data researching and data analyzation, data
Data.
analyst,
Data analyst. He's working as a data analyst. So what kind of experience he's having? I mean, how many years of experience?
like about let's say about 10 years of experience.
So since that he is already into data research and analysis, I suggest him to go with a big data kind of the thing.
Okay, big data.
Big data kind of things. He's already into data related things, because you see, organizations are behind protecting their data.
Right.
Okay, for this purpose, we need data analysts, we need security analysts. So I don't insist him to change his profile to security professional. If he's
Mhm.
having the interest, he can learn. But big data is also a good thing, because going forward, managing the data is not an easy thing. We are hardly we are failing to manage the data within our mobile devices, right?
That's
We are
true.
buying 128 GB or about 256 GB, and we are trying to take the backup or relying on OneDrive. Data
I
management is not
remember
an easy
if
task.
I could correlate, like when we particularly collect the logs
Yes,
from the network or from the ports and everything, right?
yes.
Collecting is easy. You can collect from all the softwares;
Mm.
they'll just dump the data. But then to analyze them, we need the data.
To analyze that data and retaining that particular data is a
The
risky
biggest
factor.
task. That's true.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
So I suggest him to go behind the big data or any data related stuffs.
Right.
That should include the cloud. That should
Mm-hmm.
include the cloud. Okay.
Right.
That's my suggestion for
Thank
him.
you. Thank you.
yeah, just wanted. This will be a theoretical more, right? It won't be. There won't be in practical or any some new tools learned, right?
No, because it's a practical. It's a practical. I will explain you theory, and I will show you how to perform this practically. Okay.
So,
For this purpose, I don't have any application that is predefined, but there are certain predefined applications which are specifically designed to test. Okay, for beginners. Okay, there are certain applications. We'll work on that applications, be it a cross-site scripting, be it a SQL injection, be it a cross-site request forgery, be it a insecure direct object reference, be it a failure to restrict URL access, be it a configuration related vulnerabilities. Okay, there will be theory. Theory is for our understanding, and there will be practical. Tomorrow if you go to an organization, theory will only come in handy to clear the interview, but practicalities are required to perform the assessment. Okay, it will be practical as well, not only theoretical.
if someone is having around 15 years of experience, is this course beneficial for them?
So someone is having around 15 years of experience. No organizations will ask that particular 15 years experience folk to be an individual contributor. They will not provide you an application to perform the assessment. They will ask you to lead a team. For that purpose, what exactly you need? You need to understand strong understanding about the concepts and the vulnerabilities. You need to be able to in a position to speak and guide your team. And if require, you should be in a position to assist the team in perform the assessment, but they will not ask you to perform the assessment. So with a 15 years of experience and the knowledge on cyber security, slowly your profile will be migrated into two things. One is technical manager, one is a people manager. A technical manager will more into he will be more working on what do you call dealing with the clients. Okay, providing the proposal with the client, understanding their requirements. Okay, client dealing. A people manager is leading the team who is working for a certain client, leading the team and assisting them. Okay, and technicalities, you might move into an secure architecture architect. Okay, kind of thing. Clear, because
Yeah, but yeah. Thank you.
anyone? Rajesh, Gurraj Singh, Dinesh, Sunil, Mahanandi. Anyone? You have any questions you can ask? Generally, demo sessions will be like we will be preparing for a certain vulnerability and we will show that particular vulnerability, how exactly this vulnerability happened, kind of the thing. But that seems to be very monotonous. I just thought of like rather than teaching what exactly I have prepared, I just thought of answering all your queries first. Okay, this is the first time I'm trying this, or else my previous sessions I used to open up certain tools like a SQL map kind of the thing. Okay, I used to run certain commands and do some magics in front of you. Okay, that's more like whatever I've prepared and telling that. Anything? No other questions?
Vishwa, how it will be helpful for any DevSecOps professional?
DevSecOps or DevOps? Tell me.
Yeah, DevSecOps professional, like
You are
any Sonar.
are you from DevOps background, Bharat?
Basically, I was into cyber background,
Okay.
but one of my cousin who is into DevSecOps background, just he want to have an understanding on this.
He's already into DevSecOps. What exactly he's looking for? DevSecOps is nothing but
Uh,
it already
he,
yes. Okay.
mm,
All right. So what exactly happened is in the DevSecOps, that particular CI/CD pipeline, they will only configure certain tools with respect to the security. Like they will
right,
configure the Sonar Cube, they will configure Bub Suite extensions, they will configure some other tools. Only configuration will happen, but
right,
after the configuration, tool will report certain things, but they need to analyze those things. They need to understand what exactly that particular vulnerability is all about, right?
right. Mm.
Right. So it's required for them. It's required for them
Okay.
to learn at least a web application security, because CI/CD is all about application or web services related thing. If you are learning the web application security, it itself is covering 80% of the web services security. Okay.
Got it. Got
So
it.
for
Yeah.
DevSecOps, for DevSecOps, he is serious in pursuing towards the security, and he wants to continue the DevSecOps kind of the thing. They need to. Okay. So that's a very good example I can say is, before DevSecOps, what is that teams used to have. DevSecOps is hardly a decade old, and within that only last 5 or 6 years, it is in boom, DevOps kind of the thing. Before to that, what is the methodology they used to have? I've heard about waterfall methodology. Developers, any developers here? No. Earlier, to develop an application team used to follow a waterfall methodology, and then they have come into the agile methodology. So many methodologies are come. Okay, all of a sudden there is something called DevOps, a CI/CD pipeline, very boom. Okay, it has become a buzzword for few years. There is a CI, continuous integration, continuous deployment kind of thing. Immediately immediately that particular DevOps, we have added security, and we call it as DevSecOps. DevOps itself is not enough. You need to have dev security within this particular your operations. Okay, any new technology comes, that needs to have security. Okay, right. Yes, there is a ping, like all those certifications are those who has at least 5 years in the field. Yes, of course, if you're already in the field for 5 years, you can go for that particular certifications, ISACA and ISSK related certifications.
Hi Vishwa.
Yes, sir.
Hey, to get into this, don't we need any kind of IAM or PAM tools to learn?
Not required. IAM is
Not really.
separately into a different thing. It's a
Mm,
completely a different thing. Identity and access management. They'll have their own tools. They will only configure the identity access to the users. Okay. Once you're joining into the organization, they will provide us a laptop for us on the day one, and the credentials are configured in that particular IAM using the tool based on the
okay.
role what you are joining.
Okay.
That's
On the
called
other
identity and
way,
access management.
yeah. On
Yeah.
the other way, to be into IAM or PAM, do we
Mhm.
need all these skills?
No, not
No.
exactly.
Both are
Not
two different
exactly.
things.
Do different thing. That is
Ah,
only to do with the authentication and authorization kind of thing. They're only configuring the identity management for the resources joining the organization.
okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Ravi is asking, after completion of this course, what are the positions within cybersecurity we can aim for? Okay. Yes, Ravi, as I said, you'll be gaining an experience of a 3.5 years practical experience. You can gain that. Okay, 3.5 years experience, for whatever the experience they will have, you will be able to gain that particular experience. Okay, you can apply. You can apply based on the preparation. You can apply for any senior level positions. You can apply. Okay, based again, we are already 10 years in the industry. So obviously, you have to aim for senior profile only. They will not allow you to for any junior profile. Okay, your interview preparation has to be like that. I can assist you on that.
How is it going to help, for a cloud engineer?
Yes. What exactly you are doing in the cloud, Rajesh?
I'm a senior cloud admin. I'm managing the cloud, basically
Yes.
VPC in AWS.
Yes. Within the
AWS,
VPC,
sorry.
within the
Yes.
VPC, what we are doing? Are we hosting
IAM,
something? Are we hosting something?
yeah, EC2 instances I'm hosting. I'm creating EC2 instance. I'm running the
Yes.
applications.
Yes. Again, within the cloud, what we are doing? So we are running the applications, right?
Yes.
That's it. So application security, be the applications that are hosted on-prem within our organization servers or that are hosted in the cloud. This
Okay.
particular application security has to perform. And moreover, once you are done, okay, here, here within this particular thing, the cyber, there's something called cloud. Applications that are hosting in the cloud, not only from application point of view, but we are hosting something in the cloud, we are configuring the VPCs, we are configuring the EC2 instance. Okay. uh, we are configuring the routers and all those things. So how exactly we are configuring the S3 buckets. How exactly we are configuring S3 buckets? Are we making the S3 buckets public? Are we encrypting the particular S3 buckets? If you are encrypting, what kind of encryption mechanism? Are we relying on cloud AWS provided encryption keys, or are we relying on custom managed keys? If you are relying on custom managed keys, okay, where we are storing that particular custom managed keys, encryption keys of that particular custom managed keys, all these things will be part of cloud security.
Okay.
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 So application security is an entry point for everything. Okay, you need to understand the application. Now there is something called mobile application. How different a web application is different from the mobile application? It is also an application that is something we are installing in the mobile device and accessing the same UI. Okay, the same bank application you can open in the browser in your laptop, and the same bank application you are opening as part of the app in the mobile browser, right? More or less 80% the same functionality. But the only thing is, the mobile applications will have the same this OWSP top 10 web application vulnerabilities. It will have the SQL injection, it will have the XSS, it will have CSRF, it will also have the same vulnerabilities. Apart from that, apart from that, since that we are installing that particular mobile application in our device, is there any possibility while installing, is there any possibility that a device is holding any sensitive information like the card details, like the user details or transaction details? If they are storing in the device, how exactly they are storing? Are they storing in an encrypted manner? Are they storing in a plain text? If it is storing in the plain text, what happens if the user lost his device? Okay, person who can unlock the device can simply use this particular device to see those sensitive files. Okay, application security covers 60 to 70% of the mobile application security. Only thing is, the environment where you are testing is varying here. Apart from that, rest 30%, that local data storage things. Okay, if you know web application security testing, which is an entry point, if you know web application security testing, you can also, based on the experience, you can also perform mobile security testing. That can be an Android, that can be an iOS. Yeah, we can't cover everything at one go. I can't bombard your brains with all the stuff whatever I know in the next 2 months. But I will only provide you what is that is required for you to kickstart your career as a cybersecurity professional. And again, once you get into that particular field, you will move with the flow. You will learn by yourself with a little bit of research. Great. Anything? No questions? If you don't have any questions, we can wrap up. I've taken 20 minutes more of your time already. If you have any questions, feel free. I can stay back and I can answer. Right. Considering you don't have any questions, we can wind up for the session. Okay, you can get in touch with the Valaxy admin. Mostly by Monday, we'll be starting the session based on the registrations. Okay. Uh, hope you enjoyed the session. Feel free to ask if you have any questions. You can reach out the Valaxy admin any point of the time. I'll answer your questions straight. Nice talking to you all. Have a great day. Happy weekend. See you all. Bye
Thank you,
everyone.
Vishwa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. Bye.